Hey guys, this is Einar. I hope you're doing great today and welcome to your 14th tutorial in Basic Statistics in Excel. Today we're going to go through bar charts and how to create bar charts. So we'll get right to it. We go to Insert over here, we choose Column, and there are many different categories you can choose from. We're going to choose a real simple one, just this one up in the top left corner, and we arrive at this. Now, this looks kind of weird, I know, and this is because Excel has chosen a default format for the data before we've even entered it. But we can change this. So if I right-click over here so you can see, I choose Select Data, and you can, if I remove this over here and select a new data set, which are the frequencies we're working with in our table, we get a bar chart, but it doesn't look like a normal bar chart, and it only has one category. This is because we can place the categories both on this side of the in one variable, so to speak, on the x-axis, or we can switch the rows and columns, and this is based on the table we have here, and get these bars that we want to work with. So if you end up with a bar chart that looks like this, don't panic, just click switch rows and columns and you get a bar chart. And also, if you want to do the opposite, you could switch rows and columns and get this type of bar chart. But we want to work with this type. And we also want these numbers here to be more informative than they are now, because this doesn't tell the viewer of the graph anything about what we're measuring. So we're going to go to Edit, and under Axis Label Range here, we're going to select our categories. And because they're located in the spreadsheet like everything else and located next to the values we have in our bar chart, Excel knows where to place them and does this automatically, which is excellent. So I click OK. Also, we could increase the information in this diagram even more by including the header we have here, ages, because it does. You might not know what these numbers mean unless there's a header here that says ages. So let's choose series number 1 here. As it says, series number 1 there. We choose to edit that, and we can actually select the series name, and we choose ages as our name. And we see it, ages shows up there and there, which is great. So we click OK, and we have a bar chart. Now, there's even more stuff we can do to make this more informative and more nice to look at, so to speak. To begin with, I think this is redundant, this category. So I just select it and I press delete on my keyboard and it disappears. I might also want to change some of the colors of these. So if I want to change the color of one of these bar charts to one of these bars to single it out, I double click on it. Sometimes it's tricky, but you double click on it and you see it selected by the little balls showing up here, and the others are not selected because they do not have the balls around the corners. You right click, you choose Format Data Point, and you get into this menu over here. What we do now is we choose Fill. And you can choose different types of fill. I could choose a gradient fill, which is like, you know, the color varies. I could choose pictures even, and you know, many different types. So I will choose a solid fill for now, and it's chosen the color red for me, which I think is just great. I could increase the transparency if I want, if I don't want the color to be so strong, but I want it to be strong, so I just keep it at 0% there. I close it and I see now, okay, I have separated one of these bars from the others by giving it a certain color. But I might want to do this for all the bars. And instead of going and doing it for them each separately and trying to find colors that fit well together, there's a function in Excel. If I click one of these just once, they all become selected, as you see at the little balls here in the corners. So if I right click and I go to Format Data Series, this is going to affect all of the bars in the diagram. So I choose Fill here, and there's an option called Vary Colors by Point over here. If I click this, Excel chooses different colors for each bars for me, which is great. And there's another thing about these colors, that they have been chosen with a lot of thought. There's a lot of thought behind the colors that Excel has chosen here for these bars, because if I print this in black and white, it is made sure that all these bars will show up. So it's a really good reason for having these colors in Excel. So if I close it, I have a graph that looks even better than the one we created at first. Then there's stuff like personal taste. I don't like these lines. I remove them. And instead of having those lines to help the viewer to see how high these bars are, I can choose to add some numbers to give the values of each category. And in this case, we're talking about the frequency. So if I right click and I choose Add Data Labels, numbers show up here on top of each bar. So this in this category, the years 10 to 15, there are 8 people, the frequency is 8. You can also see that on the y-axis there. I could choose to place these numbers at different places. If I right click, I can choose format data labels, and I get this menu over here. In this area called label position, I can choose to place the values in the center of the bars. I can choose to place them inside the bars but at the top. I can choose them at the base, or I can choose them outside end, as it's called, which is on top of the bars. We'll just place them here on top for now. And I think this looks really great, but there's more stuff you can do. If you, for example, think this header is too big, I choose the header, I right click, and I choose font. Now this is sort of like in Microsoft Office, if you've used that. This is the same principle. You can change the size of the text. I maybe want it to be 14. I want it to be slightly smaller. It becomes smaller. I can do other stuff. If I go into font here, I can change the if it's bold or not. I can even choose what type of text it's going to be. If I want it to be like something really weird, like Book Antica, yeah, it shows up like that. The same goes for all other text. I can choose to edit the font of my category labels. Maybe I want them to be slightly bigger, and they become bigger. So you can do that, and that includes all text. So if I want to change these and make them slightly smaller, I can make them smaller. When it comes to the y-axis, there's stuff you can do here too. If I select my y-axis and right-click it, and I choose Format Axis, I can choose to change, for example, the steps we're taking at every step here. I can say maybe I want the major unit, as it's called, the steps here, to be something else. Maybe I want to take steps of 5. So I do that, and suddenly we go 0 to 5 to 10. I can also change the maximum or the minimum of this axis. So if I want the maximum to be 20 perhaps, I can do that. Suddenly we have 20 as the top value on our y-axis. And we can go below 0 too. So if I go here and I choose Format Axis and I choose minimum, I can choose a fixed value of, say, -5. So I close it, and suddenly we have -5 here. And this is relevant if you want to make bar charts that cover not only positive numbers but negative numbers, but we're not quite there yet. But that's it for this tutorial. Play around with the menu in the bar charts, and I hope you enjoy yourself and have a good day, and I hope to see you in tutorial number 15. So have a nice day. Bye.